following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness, the podcast that returns your dead toothy husband from war in time for Christmas. I'm Joe, and with me as always, hurtling through time and space in her specially constructed time shed, it's Barney.
Time shed TARDIS.
That's the last one we did. Feels like a long time ago.
I know, I've been poorly, Anna.
New dog. His time is eating up.
She looks like she has settled in, though.
Oh, she's a menace. It's great because when I get up now, she's like, "Oh, we're getting up," and Harvey's like, "No, I'm going back to bed," and the dog's like, "No, we're getting up." I'm like, you always saying you get up at the same time as me, and you don't. But now I have that. We also, when Harvey has to go in the office, we bought like a remote camera thing you can access. It's just the dog laying on the couch. That's it. That's all she does all day. It's rubbish. I don't know what I was expecting. So I'm like unicycling around the house playing the trombone, but yeah, just sleeping in.
We set up that out for Minnie, like when we first moved in, and all she did was move once.
Yeah,
and that was to get into a different position.
Motion sensor goes, if you think, oh, something good's happened. No, dog's just flopped slightly to the left on the couch.
I was like, we've sat and watched this video for 2 hours and she's done nothing.
But it kind of makes you feel like, well, we can yell at the dog down the thing, apparently. I haven't done that because that seems cruel and unusual, but yeah, because then they're going to get all excited. But yeah, she settled in. She's got to go back to the vet tomorrow to get a second jab. And we need to see about getting her done because, as it turns out, when we got her, she was just coming into season.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's quite
You
disgusting.
can get them dog nappies and stuff.
I ain't doing that. We just wash the blankets. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, before we get enough dog talk, if you want to keep up to date with all the Hallmark of Greatness gossip, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word, or we are on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. We are also on Threads.
Ooh.
Don't fully quite understand how it works, but we're there. It just seems to be Twitter. But I also get a lot of stuff from people I don't know and don't care about. So I've been blocking a lot of people because I don't want Lad Bible or Lad Baby or any lads, basically, unless it's lads. Yeah. It's better because there's not as many. Well, I haven't come across any racist bastards yet, so that's fun. But other than that, Nah,
I've not tried it yet.
But anyway, this week's film, Christmas is over, so we're back to the usual nonsense. 2021's For the Love of Chocolate, or Love and Chocolate, or again, as it is a real one entertainment thing, it's they clearly made it and then repackaged it later on down the line. Do you have a synopsis?
Yeah.
Oh!
2 rival families who both own a pizza shop at different ends of the street encourage... Oh, shit! It's the wrong film!
It's the wrong film. Is it a woman who owns a bath bomb factory? Nope, different film.
No.
Is it, though?
Replace the word pizza.
Or bath bomb with chocolate, and you've got this film. The actual synopsis for the film: preparing for the annual Masters of Chocolate Festival, Aria's plans get rattled when she loses her partner shortly before the competition. However, a dashing single father soon steps in to help Aria find the winning ingredient: love.
That synopsis sounds like he's died, her partner.
Her partner? No, sure.
Unexpectedly loses her partner.
When her loses her partner, yeah, okay. Well, he's kind of a non-entity anyway, and only is a classic Hallmark evil boyfriend.
Turns up at the end.
For no reason. And he's kind of a dick, but then just leaves, and it's like, what? You can't, levels, people, levels. But yeah, I mean, let's get into it. It is a real one, so that's like the Hallmark adjacent stuff that a lot of these seem to be coming through on now.
No establishing shots, though.
No, just an actual song as well.
Mm.
Yeah, there's 3 actual songs in this.
It's not as good as Twitty Patty.
Elevator of Love or whatever. And we are introduced to the heroine of this film, Aria, who I'm going to say I think has developmental learning problems.
She's making a huge ass chocolate castle.
She's making a chocolate castle. She only likes hanging out with kids.
Give them their proper name.
I refuse to say it. I refuse to say chocolatiers.
Tiny chocolatier.
Tiny chocolatier. Yes. She lives in, I don't know, what's it called? Autumn Falls or some other generic white people small village. And she runs the chocolate shop there that's called Chocolate Adams. No.
It's really simple, like Chocolicious. Wasn't that what the team name was called?
I don't know. It was
Something
just,
really shit.
I kind of switched off because there are so many puns about chocolate and sweets all the way through it that it kind of made me feel that someone had bought a big book of food jokes and was working their way through them. That woman in the contest, I wanted to punch her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the judge lady, or not the host lady, whatever she was called, who isn't a character.
She was living her best life.
4 years.
We've jumped
Rada.
right to the end here. We've got a lot of nothing before
There
that.
Yeah, she is selling some chocolates to a young girl and her mum, and she's like, "Oh, to make it special, let's put sparkles on it." I'm like, oh, here we fucking go. She's going to be one of them, isn't she? And she is. Her life is dedicated to this chocolate shop in a small town that, despite giving away a lot of stock, somehow seems to flourish.
Never paid for anything.
No. She employs her sister Sage.
Non-union Anne Hathaway.
Yep, I'll give you that.
From The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh yeah, there we go. And she's like, "Oh, I need to enter it's a good job that me and Jacob are entering the Masters of Chocolate Festival because I need to win the prize money to pay for the tiny chocolatiers to come in because I don't charge them money because I'm a terrible businesswoman."
So she doesn't charge them money. She doesn't charge him later when he comes for that click and collect order. She doesn't charge anybody.
No. I think they're quite forward in their approach to customers. Normally in these films, the customers are just left to mince about because everyone's in the back doing stuff. Here, they're like, as soon as someone comes through the door, they're on them. Like, do you want some chocolate? Sage, especially. Sage at one point, taps a woman and goes, "What?" And I was like, maybe don't employ your And she's like, "Oh, well, you're having dinner with Jacob tonight, and I think he's going to propose to you because you've been going out for 4 years."
Yeah.
And at this point, I was kind of like, okay, well, that's fair enough. But Ari says, "Oh, but maybe he isn't," and she's clearly not happy with him.
Well, she says that she wants to break up with him, but she'll wait till after the competition.
Which is kind of,
that's a bit naughty.
But then Sage is like, but also at your age, you need to start thinking about settling down and raising a family because that's all women are good for in these films. And not running a business, certainly, because she's terrible.
Not running a business, no. Running it into the ground, maybe.
It somehow stays open. This town that has no supermarket and no petrol station, but has got an art studio and a chocolate shop. And a crepe shop as well.
They have a farmer's market.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah,
tea-based services.
It was! Tea-based services crossed with Blackpool.
It was weird. Funny.
So she's like, oh, well, anyway, so she goes to have this meal with Jacob, and they're both sitting there, and then they both simultaneously say, "Yeah, I think we should break up." And he seems quite annoyed that he wasn't allowed to do it on his terms. But as it turns out, he's a massive whammer anyway. Because he's like, "Oh, I helped get your business off the ground because I'm a businessman. Business.
Business.
And you're like, oh, okay, so obviously you're going to come back at some point to put the cat amongst the pigeons."
He just gets up and walks off and leaves her at the table.
He does, but I think it's in his house anyway. So
it's like that text when that man gets an Uber and the party was at his house.
It's
doing, mate? Party's at your house.
But he leaves and she's like, "Oh, I don't have a partner for the chocolate competition now," which is the only thing that happens in this town because they have ticket sales and it drives tourism there. It doesn't appear to, because when we get to the competition, there's 12 people in the crowd.
But there's only 6 people working, isn't there?
There's 3 teams of 2.
In the competition, 3 teams.
This is the best on the West Coast, apparently. These 3 teams. One team who don't even understand the rules of the game.
She got really annoyed at him.
I thought they were going to burn them. I honestly thought they were going to put them in a big chocolate wicker man.
It was that fat kid from the truck film. He'd come back.
He's lost some weight and he doesn't understand the concept of a chocolate-only competition. So she's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do now. How will I raise money for the daft kids?" And Sage is like, "I don't care. I've got to have a phone date with my boyfriend. Charlie?"
I think so. I was going to say his name would come up at some point, but
Charlie not appearing in this film. And he lives in New York and wants her to move out there, but she's like, I can't leave because of my sister, because she clearly can't look after herself.
it's a really strange subplot. I didn't understand it.
I think it was just to flesh them out as characters a little bit and to show that Arya is wise beyond her years because she gives him phone advice later on. And then we're introduced to Ryan, played by Jesse Hutch, who we have seen in Don't
spoil it. I've got them all at the end.
So many of these films are the same as this. So much so that I don't think he even learns his lines.
But cute shot of him chopping wood, sawing wood.
Yeah, he's come back to town to because he works in New York as a foreman on a building site and has come back to help build the stage and stuff. It's not even on a stage. It's just in a church hall. Like, I don't know what he built. Yeah. And his dad and mum live there. And like his dad and mum want him to come back, and he's like, "But my life's there now." And he's got a daughter, the incredibly annoying Sophie.
Well, all child actors are.
I know, but like she's super annoying. And they're like, "Oh, he has to go and pick up his mum's." Oh no, they decide. Sorry, Sage and Arya decide to start filming stuff for not TikTok, or it's called like. Oh, what's it called? It's called something like snippet views or something. It's to try and help drum up business and also find her a partner for this competition. And this little kid's like, "Oh, Nana, the chocolate ladies," and I hate it. The nan's like, "Oh yeah, that's the lady that lives in town. You can go and see her with your dad tomorrow if you want to pick up my order." She's got a standing order at the chocolate shop, which is baller if you think about it.
Well, I would too. If you didn't have to pay for it, I'd have a standing order.
She's a number one customer, but at what point does she pay? If I just come back every week, can I have them for free? And so yeah, they go and like there's supposed to be animosity between them. But
yeah, there isn't.
There isn't really.
That giggling and laughing, making coconut and lime chocolate, because that's the future. It's a revolution, that.
It's not. Coconut, especially desiccated coconut, is horrible. But yeah, so she's like, "Oh, I'll come back tomorrow for the tiny chocolatiers thing. And if you agree to help," because the kid's like, "Oh, Dad, you can bake." And she's like, "Oh, well, baking's not so different from making chocolate."
When they meet, their meet cute was...
Oh, Christ!
Come on. So her and Sage are moving a giant wooden horse to the window.
It's a unicorn.
And some pearls appear. Who knows where the pearls have come from?
Inside the unicorn. That's where pearls come from, according to my David Attenborough knowledge.
Anyway, so they spill on the floor. Sage goes off to get a brush and Arya falls on them into him. Oh.
She literally falls for him, right? It's not subtle in the slightest. Just stand still. Like, they're not going to roll under your feet if you stand still. And the kid's like, "Oh, you can bake, Dad. Why don't you help?" And she's like, "Oh, okay, well, maybe you should, and I'll help you saw some bits of wood up or whatever." And he's like, "Sweet, I'll come back tomorrow." Oh, the annoying kid and two other kids. So there's only 3 kids doing this chocolate course. Anyway, how much can that cost? Right. They've made like chocolate houses or some shite.
But they don't leave them behind.
Melt them back down, innit? Reuse it. Secondhand chocolate.
You keep doing that to chocolate though, can you? Does it not go all bitty?
Yeah, it will. Because if you,
I've seen Bake Off.
Yeah. Also the snippets views thing she does is where she has a breakdown when she's doing. She builds this chocolate castle, and then she's like, "And now I'm going to make a chocolate man to go in it." And she's like, "Coconut is confidence." And I was like, "Are you all right? Like, do you need to see someone? Have you been kicked in the head by a horse?"
This is sprinkling some kindness. I'm just like, it's like them 2 tablespoons of love.
Everyone, who are we kidding? Put it all in. We all love a gentleman. Oh, I'm going to be sick. But everyone's like, "This is great. The mad woman has made a chocolate man." Yeah. And so he goes and they're making a no-bake brownie out of chocolate, which I assume is just chocolate.
The brownie was interesting because they put the batter into the tray, put the tray into the fridge, and when they took the tray back out, it was cooked.
That's not how fridges work.
It looked like a cooked brownie.
No, I'm not having it.
It did, honestly.
No, I know that, but she's like, you, because that's the twist this year, is that you can't bake anything. And I was like, okay, it's chocolate anyway, so I assumed it would just be like Bake Off the Professionals, where they just make that huge thing out of chocolate every week and it falls over.
And then it collapses at the end and you cry, yeah.
Someone's always falls over.
But then he said, oh, well, I can make a cheesecake, and she nearly wets herself with joy at this idea.
She slides over to the fridge. And goes, oh, I've got some cream cheese and sour cream in here. And they're in little uncovered bowls in the fridge. Right? And I'm like, well, they're going to either stink of whatever's in that fridge or be off anyway. But he makes this thing and maybe we should put it on top. And she goes, my God, I've never thought of that. I was like, what?
Oh, and then they start blowing up balloons.
That's the next bit. So they put it on top of the brownie. And then she's like, ooh, decadent, but delightful. You really do know your onions. And he's like, it's fucking cheesecake, love. It's not hard.
Even I can make a cheesecake.
Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow so you can paint some stuff and be a bitch. Bye. Next morning, he's doing all this supposedly heavy work. Well, his dad just stands there as well. His dad's just helping by observing. Classic workman. And she's painting this sign. And he comes over and he says, it'd look better if all your brush strokes were in the same direction. I'm like, you fucking do it then. She's like, oh, well, maybe you should do it. And then he goes, let's go and get a sandwich. And she goes, I fucking love sandwiches. And we have so much in common. Because, as it turns out, Ryan lived in this town and moved away. He takes her to a murder spot, which is the most romantic part in this town that she's lived in near enough all her life and has never found this bench near a river. And he explains that he says, this was the bit that threw me off later on. He says that when when Sophie's mum left, he moved to New York to start anew. And I thought, oh, that's rare that we get a divorce in this.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, oh, well, you're a great dad and you look after her and stuff. Then they go and blow up these balloons and maybe we should put the brownie cheesecake hybrid under a dome. And again, they're both like, we've just discovered nuclear fission.
Even though it's something that's been happening for 10 years?
Yeah, forever. Sage starts filming them, which is be natural. Pretend this was actually a joke that made me laugh. She goes, pretend I'm not here. Just I want natural chemistry. They have coconut dome and lime dome, and then they mix them together, and they're like, wow, that's both our ideas coming together. They go off into the back to do something, and she just stands there and goes, didn't actually mean ignore me. Well, that's quite a fun joke there.
And they do a good old, you've got food on your face. Let me just get that for you.
At no point was there a chocolate fight, which I was disappointed in because I thought there was going to be. This is when Sage assaults that customer as well.
Oh, yeah.
So they've made this dome and they're getting to know each other. The next day they decide to go to this farmer's market.
I was going to say, is the art gallery not first?
Is it the art gallery first or is it not the... I've got the
art gallery first because it's funny that the art woman's insane.
Jesus Christ. She's an art woman because she's got a beret on indoors.
She's just walking around drinking wine. Great.
Which is again on dove.org. Negative points for alcohol consumption. But yeah, they're all painting. It's like a Bob Ross thing, but they're all painting the same sunset. And she's like, oh, mine's rubbish. Yours is well better. Doing self-deprecation. And he's like, yeah, it is a bit crap. And she's like, well, maybe you can help. And he puts some clouds on it. This fucking... What's she called? The mad woman from Harry Potter? The divinations teacher.
Professor Trelawney.
It's her, essentially, in a beret. It's like, yes, I'm getting expressionist sun, but with new romantic clouds. You're going... It's motel art, mate. It's like a painting by numbers. Calm down. Also, how are you in business? Because
she starts toasting him for being such a wonderful couple.
Yeah.
I was like, they've literally painted a picture.
It's all right, but it's a lot of washes. And then the next day they're like, oh, let's go to the farmer's market for a montage. So they take his mum and dad as well, and Sophie, and we get them mucking about, putting their heads through one of those end of the pier style fat lady, skinny and man things, but it's all strawberries. And then other bits that I can't remember.
Hoopla. There's a hoopla. And my favourite bit, I made a note of this. So when they first go into the farmer's market, there's a whole row of freezers and one sign that says pies.
All the pies, £1.50. Yeah.
It made me laugh. Nothing else in them freezers, just pies.
Pies, that's all you need. Yeah, and they do all this stuff. And it's like, oh, what better for the competition than they get the freshest ingredients? Hate
It's
this.
chocolate and lime. And lime and the coconut.
And coconut and cream cheese and yeah, it's all stuff you can. They've got to make it on the day anyway, and the competition's like a couple of days off at this point.
Well, I make a note of this because I'm like, God, this film's been going on for an hour and we're still not at this competition.
The competition is 5 minutes, if that.
Looking forward to it.
No, because it's not real. The competition isn't the important part, is it? At the end of this farmers market, Ryan's like, oh, I've booked a meal in Le Pantalon Fancy. You can only get in there months in advance, and I've booked it for the wrong month. And she goes, can you not just change the day? And he went, did you not listen to what I just said? And Arya goes,
she's too excited about everything.
Arya goes, I'll throw them a party. Well, I'll decorate the house. And he goes, you've been in the house? Oh yeah, they have me over for dinner occasionally. What is this town?
Maybe that's how she's paid for the chocolate in tea.
Possibly, yeah. And she's like, and I'll set up a chocolate station. She's like, she's always marketing, though, isn't she? She's like, she's always there. She says, you've got to get him out of the house. And so he takes him to a spa, which I don't know if you know anything about men, but yeah, he's going to love that. 35 years they've been married. They make a point of saying that as well. She set all this up. Sage is there. She's like, oh, you're getting on well with Ryan, aren't you? Sophie's like, that's Daddy's happy face. And I was like, fuck off. Throw her in that river.
And then, so they have the party, don't they?
Yes.
And then Jacob just randomly turns up.
Ryan's in a cupboard for some reason, looking for something. And Jacob comes over and, like, he's quite a knobhead to him. He's like, oh, are you not staff? And he's like, no, I live here. Who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm Arya's ex. I've come to get back with her because I miss her. And instead of doing the normal person thing, Ryan automatically goes, well, I'm going to have a sulk now.
Yeah.
Arya takes Jacob outside and has a chat with him, and they have a hug. Ryan sees it, and instead of waiting and going, what was that about? He goes,
stomping off cordial.
I'm going to go for a walk. Sorry about ruining your night. And stomps off. And you're like, you're a grown man. Like, talk to people. We say this every week, but it is. I guess there would be...
They've got a shoehorn in a let me explain moment, haven't they?
It's not even really a let me explain moment, though, is it? Arya tries to phone him, and it goes doo-doo-doo, like when the phone's disconnected, and that doesn't happen on mobile phones.
No, it just goes, nope, not available.
And then Ryan ends up talking to his mum, and she's like, oh, this is what you always do. You run away. And like, it's like what happened when your wife died. Oh no, they've told Arya that his wife died. And she was like, oh, you never said that. And he's like, yeah, it hurt him greatly or something. And then his mum's like, you've got a second chance at it here because you killed your first wife with undercooked cheesecake, lactose intolerance. And then like Arya's like, oh well, fuck him. I'm gonna do the competition on my own. It's like, well, if you could have just done that from the start, why didn't you?
That's exactly what I wrote down. She could have just done that from the start.
Yeah. She shows up. We're introduced to team, I don't know, Chocolate Thunder and like team not understanding the concept of the contest. And to be fair, like, and they're like, oh, and Arya on her own. And then Ryan walks in. Yeah. And I was hoping we were either going to get a bit like in the Eurovision film, where they're like, yes, that's not the right song, so you are disqualified. The Will Ferrell one.
Oh, yeah.
Or we were going to get a bit like at the end of Dodgeball with Chuck Norris going like... but no, there's a moment of tension where they're like, they can both compete, the judges have allowed it. And Ryan says basically, yeah, I'm sorry for walking away, but like I got jealous of you. And she's like, oh no, I've dumped him because he's an arsehole, and like I want to be with you. They start making stuff. Like we get a weird shot of a woman tipping like what looks like toffee into a bowl, but doing it from such a height that like it scared me a little bit because you don't need to do that. The host woman goes over.
She's living her best life.
She's got so many puns in her locker. And she goes over to this other team and she's like, oh, how much peanuts are in that? This isn't a peanut contest or something. And
then kicks them out of the competition.
And they all go, ooh, 80% chocolate or more. And then they're just like routed from the building. Like everyone turns on them.
It's very dramatic.
So the Masters of Chocolate Festival, which will give them enough money to fund the Daft Kids chocolate thing. Oh, and also there's like a weird plot of someone from the Desserts Network coming to watch it as well.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that because it doesn't really matter. They've only got 2 teams in it. Like,
And the other team makes a brownie.
they
I'm sure it was a brownie.
possibly. I think they only just made one thing and they both split it between them. But yeah, long story short, like they win. And like that's basically it, isn't it? They do a deep kiss and it's like, I love you, always have. And that's it. That's all that happens. It's exactly the same as the bath bomb one, as the pizza one, as I think the pumpkin pie contest one. Like, I get it, it's safe, but you can at least mix it up a bit. Why not have him as the chocolate man?
Oh. And as a side note, Sage and Charlie, he solves the issue because she doesn't want to move to New York permanently. He buys not 1, but 2 houses.
Yeah, that big New York. Oh yeah, because there's a bit where he phones up Aria and he's like, yeah, I don't know what to do because she won't move out here. And I was like, well, just move here then. He's like, sweet, I'll just give everything up. It's all plots that don't really go anywhere. But yeah, they do a deep kiss and then it ends. Like, we don't even get like them running the chocolate shop together bit at the end, or them.
Well,
changing...
no, they get offered the crazy dessert show network presenters.
Is it?
They want to do a show about them making desserts and to show like a reality TV following their lives. It would just be them in chocolate shop.
I was going to say that's all she does. She's dedicated her life to it, to this town of
Tiny
12
chocolatiers.
Of 14 people in this. Like I said, this big shop. There's still tickets left. Yeah, there's a lot of empty seats in that thing. I don't know, a lot of extras didn't show up that day or something. But you could have done what they did in the football during the pandemic and just put cardboard cutouts of Hitler and stuff there. But yeah, that was the film. Like, I'm sorry we've blitzed through it, but there was not a lot in there that we haven't covered in great detail before. I didn't mind it because like she was quite good, if annoying. Because she is like, and Jesse Hutch has grown on me because he just looks like he's there to collect the paycheck.
That's probably all he is.
But like the Sage Lass was all right in it, and yeah. But other than that, I mean, your score
50% chocolate.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna give it 4 bronze balloons.
But
Because yeah, it's fine. It's one if it was on, I'd probably watch it again. But
no, it'd be on in the background. I don't think I'd sit and watch it.
Yeah, I'm not going to actively watch it, but yeah.
So Aria is played by Rhiannon Fish. I'm not sure if that's her name or if autocorrect has changed her surname.
No,
there.
It is Rhiannon Fish.
Right, okay. She was born in Canada but moved to Australia in 1995 and she still lives there.
Oh, just to fly back to Canada every year to film this tripe, does she?
Well, it's only across the water, isn't it?
Well, you could say that about everything, though.
Well, if you make loads of money on Reel One. Most famous, she's done a few of these, but she's most famous for 20 episodes of Neighbours that she was in between 2003 and 2005.
Who was she?
Oh, I don't know.
Ah, okay.
It's Neighbours, I don't really know. I just know it's Australian.
Could be like Harold Bishop's daughter, Emily Bishop.
She wouldn't have been in it for just 20 episodes, though.
She could have had amnesia. Or the evil, I don't know. It's Neighbours, isn't it? It's coming back.
No, of course. She's done lots of made-for-TV movies, my favourite being You're Baking Me Crazy.
Why are we not watching that?
Because it's just this film, but with bacon.
Yeah, I
we
know.
need to go to the Bacon Festival.
Okay, let's not ham it up. I'm going to write my own screenplay. I'm going to jazz it up, put some car chases in.
Stop it, with bacon stuck to the bag.
Yeah.
Ryan is obviously Jesse Hutch. We've covered him a few times. Love, Bubbles and Crystal Cove, which we released on the 15th of March of this year. So go back and listen to that one.
Is that the bloody bath bombs one?
I think so. Because
Yeah.
that one's got another name as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, for the love of bath bombs.
He's also the sex predator snowman in Snowmance.
Oh, but I like Snowmans, yeah.
I like Snowmans. But that episode, we released that on the 16th of June, 22. So go back and listen to that one. And I texted you before because he's in Becoming Santa, and I'm convinced we've watched that, but I couldn't find an episode for it. So I might have just watched that for pleasure, from just for at home.
Is it not one of the ones that we watched and never did, possibly, for reasons? I don't know. Feels like we have done Becoming Santa.
It does. Because he's taken on the job of Santa, so he doesn't know whether to leave his girlfriend or not.
Oh no, is that not the one where we think that her dad is Santa in that weird town?
With that weird elf thing.
Yeah, that never explained.
Mixed up.
Yeah.
Might be that then, yeah.
There's only 8 names for these films to go around.
For the love of pizza, for the love of maple taffy.
For the love of Christ, stop.
Non-union Anne Hathaway was Genevieve Buchner. Can't say her surname. Interesting fact, she was born during a terrible snowstorm.
Ooh, has she got powers like Iceman from the X-Men? That'd be good.
I was like, what a nice fact. She's done lots of bit parts in TV shows. And is a film that we are going to add to our Christmas list, which is Christmas at the Golden Dragon.
Oh, Christ. Okay, add it to the list.
Yay!
I have a horrible feeling it's going to be racist. It's gonna have like John Wayne when he was in that Genghis Khan film.
Well, we're going to add it to our list.
Okay, all right.
That's it for me facts, because we've done
Yeah.
Jessie Hutch to death.
Yep, all right. Not a lot of reviews for this. It's about it being out in 2021 and like Real One Hallmark films getting normally quite a lot of reviews. The only two I could find, one was like a 9 out of 10. The only issue they had with it was the why is it always 35 years? People, and I was all right, let it go. The anniversary was 35 years. It's an odd thing to get angry about.
Marks it down a point because of that.
Again, they're angry about that, but they're not angry about all the other tropes that are in this. Like, it is just all tropes. But this is a 4 out of 10. The story lacks a story by Rosie145. I watched this on Prime, as I usually really enjoy Jessie Hutch, this time paired with Hallmark newcomer Rhiannon Fish. It's not Hallmark's Real One Rosie145. In the second film I have watched her in was not a good pairing. The story was incredibly weak and lacked an actual storyline. It plodded on with no continuity and the leads lacked chemistry. Jessie Hutch is more suited to outdoor roles and stronger female leads opposite him. He's charismatic, but not the most animated of actors. Although one of my favourites, he does well with a strong, more mature female lead to bounce off, and Fish, unfortunately, isn't one of them. I don't know if it was me, but I can't warm to Fish yet, and the 10-year age difference was too much in the film. For me, she would be better opposite someone younger for a younger audience. Her squeaky, chirpy demeanour doesn't endear me to her, I'm afraid. I will look out for older leads in the future. I don't know what Rosie's fucking beef is.
I don't know, but this is where we need Katie back so she can do the ages of these people.
The whole chocolate premise of the film and them just playing about was really bad, and the fact that her sister didn't even look similar didn't seem to be explained. People can look different from their siblings. Like it's, in fact, all of this was a casting disaster.
Oh,
like I don't know. I think Rosie just likes Jessie Hutch and hates anyone else that's against him because it's not her.
Does she like him more made of snow?
Also, he needs to be outdoors more. Anytime Jessie Hutch isn't outdoors, people should be going, Jessie Hutch should be outdoors. Again, I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine compared to a couple of them we've done, especially over Christmas, especially after the Last Orders ones I've had to watch. This was like a change of pace for something solid and sturdy that you know and don't really have to think about.
Yeah.
And so for that, like, I can't hate it. And I quite liked her. Yeah,
it's one of them, innit? It's a meh film.
Yeah. In conclusion, that was 2021's For the Love of Chocolate. I would say your favourite line from the film, but I honestly cannot remember a single one. Do you want to get a sandwich? Fuck yeah! That's Daddy's happy face.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah. Anyway, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
I could just put, and not making his debut because his child has diarrhea.